Good afternoon. Here is the national news from BGI TV, Babagide Imo TV. I am Morire Rebila Lawal. First are the major headlines for the national news. Lagos seek to take over state electricity regulation from NERC. Cash limits, mobile money POS operators write CBN for exemption, planned protest. Nigeria's religious life not reflecting on state of corruption, EFCC. Nigerian police arrest man for killing 80-year-old uncle, burning corpse over witchcraft allegations. Kidnappers storm Rimau community, abduct many residents. And lastly on sport, concerning the 2022 World Cup, France must avoid making errors against their opponents. Now the news in detail. Lagos State government yesterday announced that it was putting in place measures that would see it take away the regulation of the state electricity from the Nigerian Electricity Regulation Commission (NERC). To achieve this, the state government has sent a repeal of the Lagos State Electricity Law of 2018 to the State House of Assembly. The law takes regulations of the electricity market away from the NERC and domicile it with the state's regulatory agency. The State Commissioner for Energy, Mr. Olalere Odushote, disclosed these at the 3rd Lagos Real Estate Marketplace Conference and Exhibition, organized by the Lagos State Real Estate Regulatory Authority last Friday. In his paper, Enabling the Lagos State Real Estate Industry Through a Thriving Energy Market in Lagos, the Commissioner said one of the key areas that the state was focusing on was to ensure REITs achieve the Sustainable Development Goal 7, which is the provision of adequate sustainable space for people to exist. Lagos plays host to 13% of Nigerians, and at last, the count will receive about 750,000 migrants into Lagos on an annual basis. And when people move into Lagos, they are in slums. As they start to find their footings, they move into single dwelling areas, which is created by the government. According to him, we are looking at cheaper means of generating electricity, and we are reaching out to the private sector to create a framework to ensure that everyone in Lagos by 2036 should have electricity. Following the imposition of cash withdrawal limits on transactions by the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, the Association of Mobile Money and Bank Agents in Nigeria, AMBAN, has written to the Apex Bank requesting exclusion from the policy. The requested exclusion is not aimed at reversing the policy, but rather keeping the business of its estimated 1.4 million members afloat, as the national president of the association, Victor Olojo, says the new policy will send his colleagues out of business. All of these efforts are not aimed at making the CBN change our policy, but for us agents to be recognized and enable us to have access to more funds better than 20,000 naira a day as prescribed by the new policy. You will agree with me as agent that if all we can access is 100,000 a week, 20,000 a day as cash for running our business, then we are practically out of business, Mr. Lojo said in a statement seen by People's Gazette. The decision to write a CBN was reached at an emergency meeting of the association held in Abuja on Wednesday. The association also disclosed that it is engaging sister stakeholders, such as the Association of Licensed Operators, ALPO, to present a joint forum in addressing the situation, Mr. Lojo in a statement. The association says it is also planning to organize press conference in Lagos and Abuja, as well as a protest to call the attention of the federal government to its pleasure. Moving on to the next story. Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) has lamented that the law of corruption in the country and level among Nigerians drastically contravenes their religious lives. The anti-corruption agency claimed that despite the volume of preachings in both churches and mosques, the rate of corruption has continued to escalate. Secretary of the Commission, George Epungu, made the assertion at the 4th edition of National Youth and Students Annual Summit on Anti-Corruption and Drug Abuse held in Abuja yesterday. He said the agency would soon launch a religious anti-corruption manual for both Christians and Muslims. The EFCC chief scribe, in his goodwill message, read that ACP Chris Obuka said Simply said, the problem with us is insincerity. Nigerians are very religious, but there is a whole lot of difference between being religious and being godly. We will continue that way until we get it right. EFCC is preparing for something very soon, which is the launch of a religious anti-corruption manual for Christians and Muslims. We have realized that both the Bible and the Quran have anti-corruption messages in them. And to the next story. A 35-year-old man, Aruna Ezekiel, has allegedly killed his 80-year-old paternal uncle, Sunday Isale, over witchcraft allegations. The suspect was said to have killed the octogenarian and burned his body with his house for allegedly initiating his son into witchcraft activities. Confirming the horrific incident, on Thursday, the Bauchi State Command of Nigeria Police Force said the suspect committed a crime on December 6, 2022, when he confronted a deceased and accused him of initiating his son into witchcraft. Command spokesman SP Ahmed Wakil, who confirmed the incident in a statement, said the suspect, who had been arrested, hit the octogenarian with a stick on the head and after killing him, dragged the body into his house and set it ablaze to cover the act. According to the statement, on December 6, 2022, information received by Tafawa Balewa Divisional Police Headquarters revealed that on the 5th December 2022, complainant name withheld, age 44 years of Gogon village, while returning from market, he saw flames coming out from the house of one Sunday Saleh, age 80 years, of the same address, the statement concludes. Moving on to the next story. Suspected kidnappers on Wednesday stormed Ongwankero in Rimahu Community, Kajuru, local government area of Kaduna State, and kidnapped several residents. A resident of Rimahu Community, Mr. Luka Moses, told Information on Thursday that the bandit, who stormed the community around 11:50 p.m., shot periodically as some residents ran into nearby bushes. We were taken unaware as we heard gunshots from different directions. Some of us ran into bushes, but others were not lucky as the bandits captured them in the bush, while others were captured in their homes, he said. According to him, the bandits operated for over an hour before they left the community. Police Public Relations Officer DSP Mohammed Jalige did not pick his call for confirmation of the incident at the time of filing this report. In case you're just joining, you are watching the national news from BGI TV, and lastly is sports news. France star Dayot Upamecano has warned his teammate to avoid making errors against England in the quarterfinal of the 2022 World Cup. In a chat with Travel Football, Upamecano stated that the duo of Bukayo Saka and Jude Bellingham will also be a threat, but that they have players capable of keeping them silent. We will have to make a few errors as possible. We will be ready for the match. I wouldn't say Jude Bellingham is a threat. Both teams will clash with each other on Saturday for a place in the semi-finals of the ongoing World Cup in Qatar. That ends the national news for this hour. Before we go, some major headlines. Lagos seeks to take over state electricity regulation from NERC. We're also brought to you as regards the cash limits. Mobile money POS operators write CBN for exemption, planned protests. Nigeria's religious life not reflecting on state of corruption, EFCC. And on sports, France must avoid making errors against England in their quarterfinal coming up tomorrow. Thank you for watching. For more updates on YouTube, our handle is Baba Gbagede Imo TV. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell. Select option all to access our broadcast. On Facebook, Gbagede Imo with Alawiye Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. On Instagram, Gbagede Imo _22. For advert placement of your goods and services, coverage of events and functions, please dial the phone number streaming on your screen for advert placement only. Thank you for watching. I am Morire Rabila Lawal. Jumat Mufida to all faithful Muslims all around the world.